Hello guys, welcome to day 2 of learning Python for AIML. So we're going to be continuing the Python concepts from list, tuples and set. In the yesterday video we have done till functions, so I hope everyone are clear with the concept what we have covered in the last lecture, and if you have not watched yet, please go and check back in the channel. You're going to find Python day 1. All basics concepts are covered, and from here we're going to start with list, tuples and set and many more concepts. Okay, so let's begin. Our first concept is list. Basically, what are this list, tuples and sets? All these are something where we store the values in it. For example, think of your school bag. What your school bag consists of? It consists of books, pen, pencil, water bottle, some random stuff, handkerchief. So it consists of various things, right? So same way, this is also used to store multiple values in one variable. You know what is variable? We have discussed about variable yesterday very clearly. I have explained you very clearly with an example. We have also coded few things. So yeah, I hope you know what is variable. So we're going to store multiple items inside one variable. Yesterday, what we saw? We saw age is equal to 20. That's all. We only saw only one item is stored in that variable called age. But in list, tuples, and set, we can store multiple values, multiple such integer value, any float value, text value. What are the differences between these three? We have to see here. But three things is also used for storing the values in the variables. Okay, so first is list. List stores multiple items in order and it can be changed. Okay, list is something which is ordered and changeable. As mentioned here, it is in ordered form, and if you want to change any items, you can change. If you have to change any elements, for example, you have a list, think of just random, like maybe fruit is equal to apple, banana, orange, mango. You can change that mango to grapes. That's how you can change the list. So let us code it, and let me show you that. Before that, I can also tell you a simple example, just like a shopping list. You go to any mart, a shopping mart, you have a bag, right? A shopping bag, or that what you trolley. So inside that you add many items, whichever you feel required, right? But you add it. What your mom does? Your mama will be like, why do you need such unnecessary item? Just take it and go put it back. That is something what your mama does. So you're changing that item and you're going to replace it something else, right? You can replace, or if you want you can delete. That's how it is changeable. You can change it. That is one small real life example which I have to um, tell you guys. Now let me just show you how do we code it. As I said, fruits, so I'll take fruits as a variable, and we shall take different fruits like apple, banana, mango. This is a list. See, this one variable fruits is consisting of different fruits in it, and it is an ordered way. It is changeable, that is, it is mutable, and it will also allow duplicates. Again, if you have to add apple, of course you can add it. So where does all this list used in AI is? It stores the data set values. For storing purpose we do, and for even predictions also we use this. This is how a list is represented. Okay, we can also print this. Print fruits, and it's gonna show the list of fruits: apple, banana, mango, and again apple. If you want to see the type, you can do dot d type, and you can see, one second, it is not d type. By default I'm using pandas. So what you do is you'll print the type here outside, and then you close it with the bracket. See, it is printing class list. This is how you use list in day-to-day life. This is how you print list. Next is tuple. What is tuple? Tuple is fixed data. What it means, tuple is storing the items which is fixed value. You cannot change the values from the tuples, and it can have different types of data types in it. In list we saw, like fruits, we had apple, banana. It was only one type of data type what we used, like everything was string. But in tuple you can change the different data types, as well as very important thing is it is fixed data. It cannot be changed, it is immutable. Okay, for this also we'll take an example. We'll print a date of birth. Okay, I'll take a variable called dob, and I'll store some random name, some random date. For example, today is 28, the day, the date, and then month I'll be taking as Jan, and year 2026. Yes, this is a tuple. And we can also print the tuple, print DOP. See, this can be given in double quotes as well as single quotes. If you use double quotes, it gives in single quotes saying that it is a string. Fine. Now let us consider, and we'll try adding number here. Whether we shall check that does it take different types of data types also. We'll remove this type. Oh, it is taking, yeah. Thing is, list is changeable. I mean, it is mutable. Whereas in tuple, it is immutable. Okay. And the last one is set. Set is also same as like list and tuple. We can store the value inside it, but a set value stores a unique values only, which means here we use duplicates, like apple and apple was repeated, but in set we cannot do that. For example, if I take numbers and I store 1 2 3 4 5, okay, and we shall print it numbers, sorry, numbers. So this is how a set is. If I try to print a duplicate value, see, it is not printing the duplicate number 5 because it will not allow multiple values. This is how uh, set works, and this is all about it. You can also take one more example. You can try yourself so that you uh, understand the concepts, but I'll show you one real life example where we use this list, tuple and set. I'll take students and I shall take some name like Ram, Sam, and everything has to be inside quotes, and Tina. This is what the names I have taken. This is a list. Okay, and inside marks I'll store their marks. For example, 91, 92, 84, 83. This is a tuple. And last, I'll take a set, that is unique. Students is equal to set students. Fine. This is a set. And if you want, you can print it also. Print unique students. Fine, it is printing. And if you want to print their marks, student names, anything can be printed. So these are the three: list, tuple, and set. As I said, we can add items into list, but we didn't see any of those functions. We'll be looking at it now. So I think all these are unnecessary for now. I'll be removing all this. We shall just concentrate on list. Okay, so if I have to insert, I mean if I have to add any item at the end, we can use a function called append. Append is the one which adds any items, any values at the end of the list. For now I'll be removing this number. Now I shall write that is fruits dot append. Now I have to append strawberry. Fine. And we shall print the fruits. We shall run now. So you can see apple, mango, apple and strawberry. This is how it is appended at the last. This is the first function. But if you have to insert any element at specific index, right, what do? You have to insert, like you have to insert at the middle between apple and mango. I have to insert banana. So for that we will be using the function insert. What you can do is fruits dot insert. In the first position I have to insert banana, and you can run this. Here you can see the banana at the first index. I hope you know what are the indexes. This is 0th index, 1 index, 2, 3 and 4. We start from 0. This is how we insert. And if you have to extend, like add multiple items together, you can use the function fruits dot extend, and you can add more elements. For example, if I take a simple variable, I'll store grapes and orange. Okay, I have multiple values to append. So what I'll do is fruits dot extend a. Okay, and then we're gonna print the fruits. At the last we can see grapes and orange are added. This is how you add to the list. But to remove, just the same way, what we do is we use fruits dot remove function. So whichever you have to remove, for example, if I have to remove apple, we shall use fruits dot remove apple. See, apple is removed from the first because we had two apples. So what it does is it starts from here. It finds that apple is here at the first and it will remove the first apple. Okay, and next is, if you have to remove from specific index, for example, if you have to remove the index 2 or 3, any index, what you do is fruits dot pop is taking out, deleting. For example, if I have to pop 1 and then print, see, mango, 1 was mango, right? So it is removed. This is how you remove by its position. Even you can remove by using its index. Simple. This is how you can add and remove into a list. And our next topic is dictionaries. So what is dictionary? When I say the word dictionary, what you remember? You remember in your school days or in olden people, what does they do? Millennial people, what do you call them? So what, before all this internet, Google and all, they used to have a small dictionary with them where they used to find the meaning of the words, right? If there was some word, random word which was very tough them to understand what the word means, how the pronunciation of the word is does. So they used to go to that dictionary. They have to see what is the meaning of that particular word, right? They used to search that particular letter, first letter, and they're gonna get the meaning of that. That is what dictionary we know. Generally, we know. The same way, dictionaries in Python is also similar to the normal dictionary. What a dictionary does is it stores a data in key value pair, which means, for example, in normal dictionary, for example, you don't know what is apple. You go and find out the word apple in the dictionary, and the meaning would be for apple, a fruit which is in red color, right? That is what the answer would be present in the normal dictionary book. In the same way, dictionaries in Python is also having a key value pair, which means key is the apple, value is a meaning of that apple, which is a fruit which is the color of red. That is key value pair. That's all. Simple, right? As I said, this is a small example of dictionary. Now, to make it better, we'll code it and I'll show you. For example, if we have to store any students' details in particular dictionary, we can do. Okay, this is dictionary, and I'll take student. This is how you're gonna initialize a student with a flower bracket open. Example name, a student name, and then you're going to store their name as Anu. Fine. And you have to separate it with comma. Next line, after name, we'll take age for example. Age can be 30. Separate it with comma. And then salary, salary can be 50,000. So the last item, whichever you store it as in key value pair, you're gonna not separate it with the comma. Instead, you'll close it with bracket. This is how you define a dictionary. You can also print it. Print student. What am I doing? Student. We'll take it as employee. EMP. You can declare it with any name. There is no specific rule for it. See, this is a name having a name Anu and age and her salary. This is how you create a dictionary. Why dictionary is used? So, we use dictionary when data has some meaningful labels, like for example, employee details, student details, customer profile. So whenever we go for that particular person, we get their details. That is how it is accessed. And if there are multiple dictionaries, example, now we have employee dictionary, but if we also have a student dictionary, and in the student dictionary also we have the same name and age, right? So how do you do that? We can print it like print employee and their name. Like if I want only the name, you can print it the name like this. Fine. If the same thing is present as an for student, and instead of salary, let's give marks, and let marks be 50 and age be 20. Fine. Now if I print employee name, it'll print Anu only, but Anita, will change the name to Anita. But if I only print name, see, it will print only name. This is not a right way. Or if you remove this and print the name, which name will you get? You get an error. So what you have to do is you need to define which dictionary you are particularly going. For example, employee, inside that particular employee name I want. So when you do this, you get the answer as Anu. And you can change the values also. For example, if I take employee and her salary, if she have got some increment and you need to change the salary thing, then you're going to take that dictionary, whichever the value you have to change, and you can assign it to 60,000 for now. Okay, and then if you print EMP, you will get salary to 60,000. So even in dictionary you can add, change the values. You can also add a new data. For example, EMP city, you can add the city also. This is how you add a new value. uh, Delhi, and print EMP. See, you get the city as Delhi. You can also remove the data by using pop function, emp.pop city. Everything has to be inside quotes. So, and if you print emp, now city is removed. This is how you delete it. This is all about dictionary. Dictionary, as I said, used to store values, and it has key value pairs. Fine. Next, we'll go for the next topic, string handling. So, string handling. What is string? String is nothing but the collection of characters. It is a text, a data text, and that is called string. And when you perform functions on the string, we call it as string handling. And every time string has to be written inside quotes. That is, it can be either double quotes or single quotes, but it has to be inside the quotes. For example, you can take name, any message, email ID, any comment, you have to write it inside the quotes. This is what string is referring to. Now, let us see why string handling is important. Because in real life, most of the data will be in the form of text. It might be WhatsApp message, it can be emails, it can be reviews on Amazon. For example, you can take comments on YouTube. Everything is in text, is in data. The text, which is, the data is always in the format of text. So when you have to perform any AI, like if you have to perform data analysis, everything will be is in most of the form in the text, right? So this string handling is very important for such things. So AI works a lot with the data, with in form of text. So now let us say the common string operators, okay, whichever we are using in string handling. The first string operation is convert case, that is changing the uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase. For example, if I take a, a variable called text, and I'll add a text called hello world. This is a string, okay? Anything which is inside the quotes, it might be double quotes or single quotes, that is a string. So this is my string and I need to convert it into uppercase. So what I'll do is print text dot upper. Upper is the function which we are using to convert the string into uppercase. See, hello word is converted into upper string. The same way you can convert it into lower string. Everything can be converted into lower string. Just change the function into lower. This is a lowercase string. And the second is length of the string. You can also find the length of the string. Same way, you just need to do print, and the function is len, and inside len means length. So inside len you're going to pass the variable and you're going to print, that is 11. So it is 11 characters. So to remove any extra space, for example, if there is any extra space here, you can remove it by using the strip function, that is print text dot strip. See, this extra characters, whichever, for example, See, this is the extra character. A blank space is also extra character. When you still run this, you're gonna see that extra space are removed. Fine. See the alignment between this and this. You're gonna understand it. Next is split string. You're gonna split the any sentence or given string. For example, if I use a word is equal to, I use the function split, text dot split, and if I print the word, let us run. See, the hello word is given in two separate string. So this is the split. And in most of the interviews, the basic question when you start with Python will be asked that what is the difference between strip and split. Strip is removing the extra spaces, whereas split is you are splitting the string. That is the main difference, okay? And you can also replace the text. For example, print, I'll directly print text dot replace is the function, and word instead of the world, you can change it to universe. And then you're gonna see that world is replaced by universe. Closing bracket. See, hello universe. That is how you replace. And there are many more functions remaining. You can go through the documentations of Python, because this is not something where we sit and learn every function and try to remember, because there is lots of functions in Python. So what you do is go for the documentation of Python and you're going to find plenty of functions. The thing is, you need to know what function works for what. Okay, it's not like you by heart everything and try to remember every function. No, but you need to know the usage, the use case of all these functions. Okay, and next we'll go for file handling. So in AIML, in Python, in ML, everywhere, most of the cases will be using many different files. We'll be using csv file for data, right? We'll be using text file, json file. There are plenty of files which we'll be using, and we need to know how to handle those files, like read and write files. For that, opening the file, closing the file, read mode, write mode, everything you need to know about files. And let's begin with file handling. So file handling means reading the data from a file and writing the data into a file. So read and write the files. Okay. For example, reading marks from the Excel files, or saving notes in a text file, storing logging details. So all these are the examples of file handling. And why is it important? Because data is usually stored in files, right? So AI works with huge data sets. So it needs proper file handling. And models are saved and reused. Data should not be lost when program stops, right? Therefore it has to be saved, and we can also reuse those files. Now the basic operation, file operation, where we use in Python is open the file, read or write the file, and close the file. That is what the three things we'll be looking at now. See, for example, I have a CSV file, raw data.csv. So this is one of the random file which I have taken. You can take any other file, nothing, just you're gonna click on the plus mark. You're gonna take it any like text file, or if you have any data, you can use that data also. So for now, I'll be using this raw data.csv. So for opening the file, you use the file is equal to open. Open is the function to open the file. And we shall write the file name inside the quotes, and that is raw data dot csv, and comma, you will write r. So this r is indicating that it is in the read mode. Fine. And this is how you open a file when you are using the file inside. And reading a file, like reading the full file, you can print file dot read, and you're gonna close it with file close. This is how you open. See, that file consists of some id, name, age, country, gender, so all these some random values of some people, 10 people it is storing. So it is, that is what it is showing, what the file consists of. This is how you read the file. And if you have to write the file, first you need to do is open. So whenever, here also what we do when we read, we opened the file. So if you have to write also, you need to use the same thing to open. So here for the write, what you do is open the file and then file dot write, and inside the double quotes, whatever thing you need to write, you can type it and then close it. For example, now we are using .csv file. If you do that, it might harm, because this is a csv, it's not writable. But when you take any text file, of course it does change. Try with any text file. So these are the basics what we learned about file handling. And we have numpy basics, and we have pandas for data analysis, data visualization, and machine learning. So all these are the topics which has to be gone very deep. It's not like this on like Python, where we just saw about list, tuples, or variables. So this is not going to be very basic when we see about numpy, pandas. So we're gonna go very detail into numpy and pandas, because they are like the foundation of AIML, right? So we need to get into numpy and pandas in detail. And numpy and pandas are the libraries of Python which we'll be using. So we'll cover it very correctly, like step by step, whatever is required. We're not going to compromise in the content for this. And in the next lecture, you'll be seeing about NumPy, and later with the pandas. And then we'll be using data visualization and ML. Thank you, guys.